Welcome to Agree to Disagree, the podcast where two sisters show how you can disagree about everything but still keep that family bond and friendship.
That's right. We're Sharon and Karen, and we don't just see the world differently, we live it differently. Grab a coffee, settle in, and enjoy the conversation. Who knows? You might even find yourself changing sides.
Welcome back to part 2 of our discussion on the U.S.'s involvement in the Ukraine-Russia war. If you haven't heard part 1 yet, we highly recommend going back, where we laid the groundwork for this discussion. In this episode, we're picking things up right where we left off, basically with Sharon complaining that I used too many notes. We've got a lot more to unpack, and as always, we're aiming for a balanced, thoughtful discussion that brings in both perspectives. Let's get into it.
The U.S., that you don't think the U.S. should get involved. But then I'm going to pose the question to you that you posed to me. So if human atrocities are happening, we shouldn't get involved?
What human atrocities?
We shouldn't have gotten involved in World War II?
What human atrocities
I'm posing the same question to you that you posed to me.
I don't have a problem with World War II, but should we get involved in every conflict? No.
No. Okay, you just had a better answer than I did, but mine was funnier.
I don't know what to say.
My answer was funnier.
You're much funnier than I am.
I don't know about that, but I just don't do as much research as you do. So I'm not prepared for these conversations. So I do.
And I've got my notes.
I know. I've seen you. Like, you start going on a rant and you look down at your notes. I'm like, oh, she's got her notes.
Uh-oh.
She's got her notes.
Again, because I will forget everything. I mean, I think it's ridiculous that the EU and the US they're sending a little bit, but they're not putting troops. They're helping to that point where they say, well, we don't really want to be involved, but we're just going to financially and militarily support you.
$43 billion is quite a bit of money in 3.5 years.
Yeah, but it's not enough to win. It's not enough to win. But money is not going to do it.
But guess what? I will agree with you on this point that you just said. The American people will get very tired of our money being sent over there with no end in sight. And we will, at some point, we will say, no more.
Well, again, it's hypocritical to say we need to be involved in this issue, but we don't need to be involved in other issues. We watched the genocide in Rwanda years ago, didn't do a damn thing. We watch atrocities all over the world and we don't do a damn thing. They only get involved when it's in their financial interest, like you said.
That's what I said.
Yes.
That's what I said at the beginning. I'm agreeing with you on that.
Yes.
Right? We get involved when there is a financial tie or there is a financial reason for us to get involved from a world economic perspective.
Do you think it's right for the U.S. administration to then come back and say to Zelensky, you need to pay us back for the money that we have given you by giving us mineral rights?
So here's my thing about that. You probably don't want to hear it.
Because I'm going to totally disagree with you. Is this your empathy coming out that I think is not there?
No, I know you don't think I'm empathetic, which just like floors me to no end when I'm the most empathetic one in our entire family.
When it comes to personal issues, yes. When it comes to anything outside of your family, no.
Yeah, because that's my first primary responsibility is my family.
Yeah, but I'm empathetic to my family and to the rest of the world.
You can afford to be. You make a lot more money than I do. I
don't make any money. What are you talking about? I don't make any money.
You have money. You have money. I don't have money.
Sharon, I am so poor. You have no idea how poor I am.
Oh, trust me. You know I'm like counting pennies right now. I'm
really poor.
So here's my stance on that. And again, just my opinion. I haven't done any research. I personally think our debt would be a hell of a lot less than it is right now if we actually did get paid back all the money that we've given to other countries around the world. You know, the Statue of Liberty was given to us by the French.
You know that they just asked for it back. Someone in French Parliament just asked for it back.
Well, guess what? No, sorry. You cannot take gifts back. You give a gift.
Okay. That money that was sent to wars was more a gift. It wasn't asked. I mean, it may have been asked for, but the U.S., if you're going to...
It was not a gift.
If you are going to initiate a coup to overthrow a government, you have a responsibility to be there.
You don't know if that's what happened.
You don't know that it isn't. You don't know that it wasn't.
But you're acting like that. Putin said it, so that must be true. And See, now
I
you're
think
believing everything Putin says.
no, but I think that I do not believe that we are
ask you a
innocent
question.
in all of the coups around the world.
No,
I don't think that we've
I
never
don't think
taken
so
part.
either. I don't think so either. However, to answer your question about do I think that it's fair for them to ask for the money back? Yes, because we had given so much money, because we were asked to give money to help fight other people's battles and other people's wars, and we have not seen a dime of any of that back. Any of it. And the reason I brought up the Statue of Liberty, that was a gift from France for all the help and money we did give them, but we didn't get money back. We didn't get the money back. We got, here, let's just build this statue and monument. We'll give you that, and then you'll forgive us of all of the money that we owe you. Like, it's not okay to just, like...
Do the right thing?
Not when it's bankrupting our country. No, it's not. Just like it's not okay for me to go out and I did it as a social worker quite a bit. I was given money as a social worker and donating things as a social worker when I couldn't, give things to my kids. Like, at some point you have to decide, do you reserve the $10 a week for your family, or do you give it to somebody else in need?
Yeah, but as the world's wealthiest country, so you want Ukraine, who is...
How can you keep saying that the U.S. is the world's wealthiest country when our dollar has lost value steadily for the last 25 years and is no longer worth a dollar, and when we have such high debt?
It's still the biggest economy in the world, number one. That's how you can say it's the wealthiest country in the world, because it is the world's biggest economy still. I know you don't want to believe that, but it is still the world's biggest.
China.
No, the U.S. is still the world's biggest economy. China is creeping up, but the U.S. is still the world's biggest economy.
I just think we don't know all the money that China has. I don't think we know it. I don't think we do. Well, we don't because they don't publicize their business.
They are not the world's biggest economy yet. The U.S. is still the world's biggest economy.
So what you're saying is, if that's true, if we're the richest country in the world, which I don't know how you can say that we have any money when we're so far in debt and so far in the red. I don't know how you can say we're wealthy at all. However, if you say that, are you also then completely equating that to that's why we should be the police officers of the world?
I didn't say that.
No, I'm asking you.
No.
I'm saying, would you?
But I do think.
So as the wealthiest country in the world, we should police the world, and we should.
No, that is not what I said.
There's human atrocities.
That is not what I said. But you cannot hold yourself up as the country that believes in human rights and go around the world and say, we are the purveyor of human rights and we need to bring human rights to your country. I mean, that's the reason the U.S. gives for invading some of these countries is we're bringing democracy to this country. So we should invade. It's why they invaded Afghanistan. It's why they invaded Iraq. They need democracy. And so we're going to take it to them. I mean, it was really about oil, but that's the excuse they gave.
I was going to say that's.
But you can't on one hand say we are bringing democracy to you. We're instigating a war. We're going to participate in that war. We're going to destroy your country. And then we're going to demand that money back for everything we fought. Because then also you have a responsibility to rebuild that country. Do I think that we should be the police of the world?
But you're mixing apples and oranges. You're mixing apples.
You're right. Let me go back to your original point.
We have not invaded Ukraine, and we have not invaded
the
Russia.
Original point is, do I think we should be the police of the world? No, not the police of the world, but there are instances. Do you think that if we have the ability to, if we have the money, because even the debt that we're in, we still have the money to do good, to help when needed. If you see an atrocity happening that no one else can.
If we didn't do that for maybe 5 years, if for 5 years we did not send any money to any other country when we saw that there was atrocities going on, I'm hypothetically, I'm throwing this out here. Could we take the money we would have spent there and put it to our national debt?
Well, I'll tell you what I believe. I think that's a great idea because the money that has been spent, like you said, it hasn't been for good reasons. It's been sold to the U.S. for good reasons to the public, that we're doing this for humanitarian reasons or we're doing this for the right thing. BS. It hasn't been for the right thing. I think that it's been for the wrong thing. It's been because... I can say BS. Yeah. Besides.
Besides. Oh, that's a good one. Okay, I've never thought of that. Okay.
I think that if you're not going to do it for the right reasons, don't do it. But I also agree that if you say you're going to stop sending money, stop sending money. Stop sending money to Israel too. Do you have any idea how much money you send to Israel every year?
We're off topic again.
No, but I mean, if you're gonna,
I said let's talk about that, and you said no, we're not going to talk about that right now.
No, we will.
You're not ready.
But I'm just saying, no, because it's a large amount of money. I mean, this is to a country who doesn't even need our money. Honestly, if we're going to stop sending money to countries, let's stop sending money to all countries, not just.
That's what I said for 5 years. Let's just stop, right? Hypothetically. And we could pay off our debt.
I would be completely supportive of that.
But what I feel like I hear you saying is we only get involved. Well, you and I agree. We're getting involved when there is a financial benefit.
For the wrong reasons.
Us. Well, that's not, okay, hang on. Let me finish my thought here because it takes me a long time to process through this stuff verbally. So we say and we publicize we're getting involved because of human atrocities and to bring democracy. But the reason we're really probably getting involved is because there is some type of monetary financial gain that we have or that we are protecting, some type of financial issue that we're protecting. But what you're also saying is we're kind of being bullies because if we can, as the wealthiest country in the world, get involved in whatever we need to get involved with because we are the most powerful and wealthiest. How do you think we got there, sis? By getting involved in things that have a monetary financial benefit for us. That's how we stay the richest, using your words, because I still don't believe we're the richest country in the world is by getting involved in these different
No, I disagree with that.
Globally.
I disagree with that. I don't think that that's how you become the richest country in the world.
I didn't say how you become. I said how we stay.
I don't think that's how you stay the richest country in the world. I think that's how you stay the most powerful is because you do things like topple regimes that you don't like or are not friendly to you.
Well, let me tell you this.
And you put in regimes that are friendly to you so that you can continue your corruption.
Our brother was once asked by our mother, and he was young, he was in his 20s, and he was once asked by our mother, with me present, she said, if you could have three things, any three things in the world, what would you want? And you know what his response was? Power, power, and power.
Well, that's because he's a white man. Of course, that's going to be his answer.
And he was in his 20s, right? This was in the 90s. And I said, oh my gosh, I can't believe you said power, 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 and not like power, money, and something else. He said, if I have power, everything else comes.
Yeah.
Then I already have money. I already have everything else. So then let's take the monetary gain and the financial gain out of the equation. Okay. And just let's look at power.
Yes.
If the U.S. wants to be the most powerful, wants to continue to be the most powerful country in the world, then they do act the same way that they are acting right now, which is getting involved in foreign affairs that could would benefit them or that would harm them.
Right. I mean, and I disagree with that.
But if we didn't get involved, so going back to my 5-year plan to pay off the debt by not getting involved, I don't know why I just can't be the accountant of the U.S. No, I'm just kidding.
Considering you're not an accountant, I don't know.
That'd be really scary. That'd be really scary, right? So let's just say, hypothetically, we don't get involved, right? Then you do have the Chinas and the Russias of the world that would start taking over.
Yes.
And is that okay? Is that okay? Do you now want Russia and China to be the most powerful country in the world?
No, but you do things like dismantle USAID and you open it up for that to happen. You don't see the connection. There is a connection because USAID all over the world, the U.S. has these installations in all these small little countries where they go and they do affect politics and political change and stability and instability in those individual countries. And going into these countries.
You mean like Pine Gap in Alice Springs, Australia?
Yeah. Don't talk about that. We don't talk about Pine Gap. I still can't believe I just found out my dad worked on that.
Are you serious? When did you just find that out?
Like 3 years ago. No joke. 3 years ago. And I had a conversation with him for the first time. Yeah. And I was like, this is so cool. Anyway.
But is it? I mean, is it? Because what you're just saying, like we have all these installations everywhere.
Well, it's still cool. No, but that's not USAID. That's the government. USAID, but they go and they do things like building bridges, and they start to meet government officials, and that's how they get a little bit of intel and blah, 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 blah. And I was watching something the other day, and this woman from a small...
USISD, you're going to have to tell me even what that is. I don't know what that is.
United
States
Administration of International Development.
Structure and development or something.
United States
International
Association for International Development, I believe.
International. So how can you say that's not government getting involved if it's U.S. Association of International?
Well, because they work through local NGOs, and they go and they do individual little aid projects in foreign countries. They were big in Morocco as well. They have an office here as well. They do work at the State Department. It's through the State Department, but they work on individual programs that help, like, say, get water to a certain area, or
trust me, they're getting some of their money
projects
from the government.
They're getting all their money from the government. But I'm saying that
so it's a government program.
But the place in Australia, that was a government funded government agency that was not trying to hide between any kind of goodwill volunteer project or goodwill project for the country. USAID hides behind these goodwill projects, and who is stepping in, who has already started stepping in because USAID has now been dismantled, is China.
Case in point then, like I just said.
Well, but that goes to
backing out of stuff. Then you've got these other countries that are going to become the powerhouses.
Well, this is your administration. This is your administration that dismantled USAID and said, we're no longer going to do any of this. And it's like, well, do you want to do that? Do you really want to open yourself up to someone else stepping in and be the humanitarian? But we did get off on USAID. We'll have to talk about that again, because I have to do a lot more research on that.
My administration's doing this, and I'm like, great, that's going to take money away. So we're saving, we're doing some cost cutting, and we're not getting involved where we don't need to be involved. Like, pull those people out. Like, come on, bring it all home. So I'm absolutely fine with that. They're bringing it home. They're bringing it home.
Bringing it home.
I mean, I was reading
bringing it home
through the AP, some of the articles, and there was a study done. I think they only surveyed 2,000 people, which is such a small sample size of the U.S., saying, should we be involved? And in the very beginning of the Ukraine-Russia war, absolutely 100%, let's support Ukraine. But that is waning because of the dollars. And this could go on for years.
Well, I mean, and I also go back to, I'm not saying that
it is a money issue.
Well, to me, it's not a money issue.
We've gotten involved to protect.
To me, it's not a money issue. To me, it's
reasons to protect money, but we've already spent $43 billion to do that. So at what point do we do a cost benefit analysis and say, you know what, it's not worth us continuing to protect our financial interests at the cost?
Be careful, Sharon. Your empathy is showing.
No, I'm just saying.
Lack of.
You know, I am very fiscally responsible.
I have a different take on it. I don't think that the U.S. should be involved, because I think it's hypocritical to say we're going to defend Ukraine against Russia, but not other countries against other invaders.
Yes, based on...
They pick and choose who they want to defend, even though the same issue is happening in other spaces and places in the world. And in my opinion...
The financial agenda, not on what's right or wrong.
Yes.
But you said...
Not on what's right and wrong. They do it based on their financial agenda.
As the most powerful, wealthiest country, we should get involved in humanitarian issues. Do you know how much money we would be fighting with every single country in this
I think
world?
that, well, hold on. That's not true. I mean large humanitarian issues. I don't mean small conflicts. But if you
you're not going to be able to set criteria.
If you see...
How do you make the determination?
So then it goes back to World War II. Then you go back to World War II. Should the U.S. have gotten involved? Now, that was a world war, and I think that is a difference. If it is half the world involved in it, then the U.S. should probably step in. But I think most of these conflicts, it's better off if the U.S. is not involved.
That, right? Like,
honestly.
I know that there is a monetary reason, there was a financial reason we got involved, but did I want us to get involved from the very get-go? Absolutely not. I did not. So we agree on that. I did not want us to get involved. I'm like, no.
Yeah, we agree on that.
Yes. leave
And
it
we both
alone.
want us
Leave
not
it
to be
alone.
involved
We totally agree
now.
on that. Like we didn't agree on a
Yeah,
lot of
so we
other
agree
stuff,
on that.
but we did agree on that. We did agree
Yeah.
on the absolute. What do you think?
We did
Absolute
agree on
question.
that.
The actual question is everything around
On the
it.
actual issue, we agreed. It's everything
We disagree
around
on
it.
the major issue, and then we agree on all the other little nuances. But this time, it was the reverse.
All the
Aren't
little
these
points around it.
interesting? No, I don't think so.
I don't know.
I don't
Does
think
that mean we're
means-
making progress or not?
I think it means. I think it just means we're just weird.
Okay.
I think that's what it means. I think it's just we're weird.
It's been a weird one. I think so too.
Until next time. And next time,
Okay,
we're
so
gonna
next
talk
time.
about
Until
cloning.
next time.
We'll see you
We'll
next
see you next time, sis. Thanks for the conversation.
We'll see you next time, sis.
As
Thanks for
always,
the
such a
conversation.
delight.
As always, such a delight. Because I wanted to show it.
Why did you just repeat what I said?
In sync we are.
I thought you were going to say I wanted to show you how it's really done.
Just that we're in sync. We're just like,
Okay.
Well,
In sync would be doing it at the same time, not just repeating one another.
Even looking at each other, we can't do it at the same time. That was pretty funny that time. All right. Okay.
Okay. Well, we'll see you next time. Bye.
That wraps up today's show. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed the show, please leave us a rating and review. It helps us improve and get the word out.
Reach out to us on Facebook and Instagram or shoot us an email at agreedtodisagree@gmail.com.
Let us know what you think, what topics you'd like us to cover, or any questions you might have. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next episode.